All right, let's kick off another deep dive. Today we're taking a look at Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross.
Oh, yeah. This one's got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a book that's really grabbed people's attention. This blend of romance, mythology, and a story that just pulls you in.
Right.
It all takes place in Cambria.
Okay.
Imagine a world where gods are not only real, but they're at war.
And not just like off somewhere else. This war is spilling over, affecting everyone.
Exactly. So that's Cambria. But in the middle of all this, we meet Iris and Roman.
Okay.
Two young journalists, both super ambitious.
Both going after the same prize.
Yeah, that columnist spot at the Oath Gazette, it's like the top spot for any journalist.
The dream job, basically. But it's more than just that, right? Their rivalry, it goes deeper.
Oh, absolutely. They're both dealing with loss, looking for connection in a world that feels kind of broken.
Yeah, Iris, she's desperate to stay connected to her brother, Forrest, who's off fighting in the war. She finds this magical way to send letters through an antique wardrobe.
Way like Narnia style.
Kind of. But here's the twist. Someone's secretly reading those letters.
No way. Let me guess Roman. Playing the secret admirer.
Bingo. He's intercepting them, writing back as Carver, giving advice, comfort, the whole bit. So he's not just her rival at work, but this secret confidant, too.
Talk about a recipe for disaster. Okay, but before we get too far, can we step back a sec? Who are these characters?
Sure. Iris, she's a firecracker. Drops out of school to chase her journalism dreams, lands a job at the Oath Gazette, determined to make it in a field dominated by men.
She sounds fearless. What about Roman? What's his story?
Roman.
Yeah.
At first glance, he's got it all: money, social status, that natural writing talent. But he's carrying this weight of a tragic past. Lost his sister in a childhood accident.
So he's got this hidden pain. And that's shaping his actions, including connecting with Iris through her letters, even if it means deceiving her.
Exactly.
It sounds like they both have a lot more going on beneath the surface. And this war, the clash between the skyward and underling gods, that seems to be a big part of their lives too.
Oh, for sure. It's not just some background noise. It's like this living, breathing thing that affects every single part of life in Cambria. Like there's this ban on music.
Really? Because of the gods?
Yeah, music is seen as connected to Enva, one of the underling gods, so it's forbidden. Imagine a world without music. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay, so we've got this war shaping everything, these two characters with all this hidden stuff, and a rivalry that's about to get a whole lot more complicated. What happens next?
Well, Iris, always up for a challenge, takes on this risky assignment. She's going to be a correspondent in this small town called Avalon Bluff.
And this town is?
Right on the edge of the war zone.
Oh, wow. That's brave. Or crazy. Or both.
Probably both. And guess who decides to follow her?
Roman. Trying to one-up her again?
Yep. He's not about to let her outshine him, even if it means risking his neck. So they're both in Avalon Bluff now, dealing with all the dangers, ethereal sirens that warn of attacks, wounded soldiers everywhere.
It sounds intense.
Yeah.
And with Iris and Roman forced to work together?
Oh, things are definitely about to get interesting. Avalon Bluff becomes this crucible where their rivalry starts to morph into something else, something more complicated.
I bet. They're forced to rely on each other, their masks start to slip, their true feelings.
Well, you can see where this is going.
And then, just when you think they might have a chance, bam! Iris discovers Roman's secret. The Carver thing blows up.
Ouch. The betrayal, the anger. But maybe underneath it all, there's this realization that their connection goes deeper than she thought.
It's a whole lot to unpack, and that's just the beginning. Trust me, you'll want to keep reading.
You've definitely piqued my curiosity. We'll have to dive back in and see how this all unfolds. Okay, so we're back, diving deeper into Divine Rivals. Last we left off, Iris and Roman are in Avalon Bluff. Things are pretty tense, not just because of the war, but their feelings, the secrets. It's all starting to bubble up.
Yeah, and Rebecca Ross is really good at building that tension. It's not just telling you Avalon Bluff is in danger. You feel it.
Right. Blackout procedures, like they're just normal life. Evacuation orders being shouted out in the streets. And barricades constantly being built, like a constant reminder that danger is right there.
I can't even imagine, like, living with that, knowing things could just change in an instant.
Absolutely. And in the middle of all this, Iris, she has this moment. She spreads her mother's ashes in this field outside of Avalon Bluff, this golden field.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really powerful, like a farewell, but also this way for her to find strength, connection amidst all the chaos.
It sounds like she's finding ways to deal with her grief, even though everything around her is falling apart.
Yeah.
But okay, what about Roman? Does the truth about Carver come out?
Well, just when you think they might actually have a chance to sort things out, boom, the eye throws attack. It's
Um,
brutal. And it's not bombs. They drop these canisters of poisonous
that's
gas.
terrifying. It's not just the immediate danger, it's that lingering fear, right?
Yeah,
Like the unseen threat.
totally. It's chaos. And it's in this moment that Iris sees Roman's true character. He's injured, but he shields her from the gas, puts her safety above his own.
So he's not just this privileged guy. He's actually willing to risk it all for her.
Yeah,
Does that convince Iris that his feelings are real?
it's definitely a turning point. I mean, facing death together, it kind of strips everything away, right? The pretenses. Iris starts to believe that maybe, just maybe, they can overcome the deception.
So a bit of hope amidst all the darkness.
Yeah.
But with this war raging around them, it can't be easy.
Nope. Just as they start to feel connected, another shock hits. Forrest, Iris's brother, he shows up.
Oh, wow.
And he pulls Iris away from Avalon Bluff.
What, like takes her away?
Yeah. He says it's for her safety, but his sudden appearance, his secretive behavior, it's just weird. And remember, Iris still has no clue about the letters about Roman being Carver.
So not only is the attack her brother showing up out of nowhere, she's also completely in the dark about Roman's secret. This is a mess.
Total upheaval. Everything she thought she knew, it's gone.
Ooh.
She's left reeling, trying to figure it all out.
And I bet just as she gets a grip on one thing, something else pops up.
Oh, yeah. Then there's the revelation about Forrest. He's joined Dacre's army.
No way. Wait, so he's gone to the other side?
He's not the same brother who left for war. Something's changed him.
Wow. That's a huge betrayal.
Yeah.
He disappears, comes back all mysterious, and now is at the enema.
And it makes you wonder, right? What happened to him during his time at the front? Why is he so devoted to Dacre? And maybe most importantly, what are his intentions towards Iris?
Again, chills just thinking about it. This went from a simple rivalry to something way more complicated.
For sure. And this complexity, it extends to how Ross writes about Dacre himself. He's not just this evil god, bent on destruction. We see bits of his past, his motivation.
Really? So there's more to him.
Oh, yeah. He's driven by this sense of betrayal, loss, a longing for a past love. It makes him, if not relatable, at least understandable. You see the pain behind his actions.
That's what I love about stories with great characters. It's not always black and white, good versus evil. It's those gray areas that get you thinking.
Absolutely. And Iris, in the middle of all this, she's on this incredible journey of self-discovery. She started out ambitious, wanting to make a name for herself. Now she's facing life or death situations, betrayals, and love that's turned everything upside down.
It sounds like she's really pushed to her limits.
She is. And it's through these challenges that she finds strength, resilience she didn't know she had. She's learning to adapt, fight for what she believes in, trust her gut.
Sometimes the hardest situations bring out the best in us.
Right. It seems like Divine Rivals is about so much more than just a war. It's about love, loss, ambition, finding your voice when the world's trying to silence you.
Absolutely.
And Ross's writing, those rich details, the emotional depth, it pulls you in. You feel the tension, the heartache, the hope, right alongside the characters.
You're making me want to read it right now. But I have so many questions. What happens to Iris and Roman? What about Forrest? Does Avalon Bluff even survive?
Well, for those answers, you'll have to read the book. But I can tell you, the ending, it's full of twists, emotional moments. You won't be able to put it down.
You're killing me. I guess we'll have to come back and uncover the final chapter of this story. Okay, we're back and ready to wrap up our Divine Rivals deep dive. Things are getting pretty intense, to say the least. Last we saw, Iris was away from Roman, her brother's on the wrong side, and Avalon Bluff might be toast.
This is where Ross really kicks into high gear. The tension, the twists, and the stakes, they just keep getting higher.
So where do we find Iris now? She must be reeling from all of it.
Back in Oath, completely lost. The betrayal, especially from Forrest, it's hitting her hard. Plus that guilt of leaving Roman behind in Avalon Bluff.
It's like her whole world's been flipped upside down. But knowing Iris, she's not one to just sit around feeling sorry for herself.
Definitely not. She's trying to put the pieces together, figure out what happened to Forrest, why he's doing this, and most importantly, how to get back to Roman.
All that while there's a war going on.
She's determined. And remember those magical typewriters. Even with all the distance, Iris is clinging to that hope of connecting with Roman through their words. She's pouring her heart out to Carver, not knowing the man she loves is in danger, and that her own brother put him there.
Oh, man, the irony. Confiding to the one who betrayed her while the guy who really gets her is the one left behind. It's messed up.
That's what makes it so good. You're pulling for Iris to find Roman, for the truth to come out, but you know it can blow everything up.
A ticking time bomb. Okay, before we get to that, what about Forrest? We've hinted at his change, but what's the real story?
As things unfold, you learn it's this deep-seated thing with Forrest. He wants power, recognition. He's always felt overshadowed by Iris and Dacre. Well, he sees him as the ticket to finally step out from her shadow. It's a twisted ambition leading to all this betrayal.
So it's not just the war, it's personal. Proving himself, even if it means siding with a god who's everything his sister's fighting against. It's sad, but I get it. Seeking validation in the wrong places.
And Ross doesn't make Forrest pure evil. You see glimpses of the brother Iris loves, the one who cares. But this power hunger, it's warped him.
Making him a more complex villain. Must be tough for Iris, seeing the brother she knew become this.
Absolutely. And it makes their eventual face-off even more powerful.
You keep mentioning this showdown. Give us a little more, without spoiling it all.
Let's just say the fate of Avalon Bluff is hanging by a thread, and Iris. She has to make this impossible choice. Save her brother, or the man she loves. This is a battle for Cambria, but also for her own heart.
Sounds like Ross doesn't pull any punches. Does Iris find any resolution?
The climax is intense, emotionally and action-wise. Betrayals, revelations, sacrifices, the whole works. But through it all, Iris finds her strength, makes a choice that'll define who she becomes.
I'm dying to know how it ends. You've given us a great taste of the story without ruining it. I'm definitely adding this to my reading list.
That's what we aim for. Spark that curiosity, make you want to dive into these worlds, these characters.
So, to anyone listening, if you're into stories about gods, magic, a love triangle with a war as the backdrop, you need to check out Divine Rivals.
You'll be rooting for Iris every step of the way. And if you've already read it, think about how you'd handle her choices. It's the kind of story that stays with you.
Absolutely. Well, I think that wraps up our deep dive. It's been great chatting about Divine Rivals with you.
Likewise. Until next time, folks, keep those pages turning and those imaginations fired up.